Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and it's time to work on the tow vehicle. We're going to have a few days of nice weather, so let's get wrenching.
I've been riding on a daydream.
First I thought I'd go out and get the mail. Oh, wait a minute. I can't. I posted that on Facebook. A trailer came down through here and took out that end of a guardrail, the last post, and took out our mailbox, put it all in our driveway. They really jacked that thing up. Yeah, well, whatever. We're supposed to have a few days like today. Yeah, nice. Again, mostly cloudy, but big white fluffy clouds. And it's dry. It's kind of cool. We're on a cool pattern, but still we're going to be in the 70s today. Next week we're going to be in the lower 60s, which is odd, seeing how we're in June. But it's time for me to work on this thing. This is what I'm wanting to do today. I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but these are the new exhaust headers for the truck. These are 409 stainless. It's the bank system, and it's killer. It's an unbelievable system. It's the best that you can buy. It lasts the longest, and they have some serious performance gains. And then the exhaust is a Flowmaster catback system. So again, hopefully I can get this installed today. Comes with a muffler and over the axle tailpipe and a heat shield, stuff like that. But there's a lot of work that's involved. And luckily it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. Yeah, the mailbox and stuff, that's going to be taken care of. The company that came down through here with the trailer, it's a local landscaping company. And they said, yeah, we'll take care of all that. Which basically all they need to do is buy me a new mailbox and sink a new post in the ground for me. That's, you know, secure. It's treated, whatever, and I'll mount the mailbox. I can do that. I just want them to put a new pole in. But yeah, ODOT's got to come out and fix that guardrail because it's messed up. I'll pick this up in a little bit when I got a little bit more done. Alright guys, so you can see it's later in the evening. By the way, the sun's coming in the garage. There's the sun. Definitely going down on the horizon. And I did get the old exhaust off. Isn't it funny? I mean, this is only a year and a half old. You can see the rust that's coming off of it. It's still very, very, very firm. It's just, it has its outer layer slowly going away. That's what happens in the rust belt. But I ran into a little wrinkle dinkle. Let me show you here.
Alright, so here's the problem. Here's the engine. We're looking at it with the throttle body, right in front of you. And then here's the ports where the exhaust manifold bolts into. There's the first port, and there's the bolt hole. There's the port, obviously, and the valve. And then here's the next one, and the bolt hole. And then here's the spark plug hole, and you see down in the cylinder there. And here's the next bolt hole for cylinder number 2, or the number 2 exhaust port. And there's the exhaust valve for number 2. And guess what? Boom! Yeah, it shouldn't be looking like that. It should be looking like that.
So yeah, you can see by that little scopic view that I need to drill out that rusty, busted bolt that's in there, which is amazing because, again, I just put all these new, brand new header bolts in a year and a half ago, and one's in there seized up.
Alright, so you can see the hole. I've had a couple different levels of drilling, and this is now the next size here. And I'm real close to the threads. So I think I can go up just one more drill bit size and possibly get this to free itself up. It doesn't look like that I've bottomed it out, though, as close as I could as far as, well, it's getting close. I think I see some breaks there at the bottom where the drill bit was hitting maybe the last bit of the bolt. So again, I'm going to go ahead and try to take out a little bit more material here and see how far we go.
Let me show you what it looks like underneath. If you guys are interested in this stuff or not, I'm not sure, but I'll show you what I do for fun, not. You can see how hard it's even to get up in here. All right, so you can see where I've been drilling there on that port. That hole that is in the center of the screen, but I've got a lot more to do before I can even start bolting on these new exhaust headers.
You know, one of the greatest tools that you possibly could have is something that everybody possesses, and sometimes I don't necessarily utilize. You'll laugh too when you hear what I'm going to say here, and that is patience. But I had enough patience. I went ahead and I've got all the stuff out of there now. The bolt is pretty much extracted all the way. What I'm going to do is just chase the threads at this point. Yeah, this is pretty damn clean, and it will allow me to get the bolt to run and get started. So what I got to do now is just take a tap and go ahead and just chase it and just make sure everything's okay. And it cleans out whatever is left in there. So it looks like there's a little bit at the bottom, but for the most part, it's all out. So patience, that's the tool that you need to have. That's the best one of all.
I had to do this before with the F-150 that I had with the 302 in it. We were going to go to the Outer Banks for a big family thing. We rented a house, the whole family did, Heidi's family, and it was roughly 4 days before, I decided to put long tube headers on the truck because I had shorty headers on there. Same situation. I just wanted to put headers on to get rid of the manifolds and work out all the bugs on the truck. And same situation with this vehicle here. I had leaky exhaust manifolds, so I just put some cheap headers on there, even though they were still kind of expensive, to get it running so I could shake out all the bugs, you know, that the truck had. And then I eventually wanted to go to a good set of headers. Again, 4 days before this trip to the Outer Banks that we were going to drive the truck, I broke a bolt off in the head. So I tried to drill it out, and the bit walked and drilled right into a water passage into the head. So then I had to hurry up and pull the intake off and pull the head off, go to the junkyard and get a head and install it and put the headers on and get the exhaust all bent, all before we went to the Outer Banks. I literally had finished the night before, and we packed the truck so it was ready the next day, and we left like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So man, that's something I don't want to have to deal with ever again. That's my update for right now. We'll pick this up whenever the headers are a little bit further along. Well, it's the end of the day pretty much. I need to mow the lawn, so I have to stop, even though the weather's been beautiful today. And I've got the exhaust headers on for the most part. There's a couple small things that I have to do, like connect the EGR pipe, and then I have to reassemble the top of the engine, which I need to get new spark plugs, which Heidi's bringing home from work. And you know, there's a few other things, but let me show you what the headers look like, at least at the time being. See, there they are there, those big tube monsters. And same on this side. And then we'll sneak a peek underneath real quick here so you can see what they look like. You can see they just kind of hang down there, and one points over to the other one, and then there's a collector that I bolt to that. So I'm going to close this out for today, and we'll pick this up later. And it's the next day, and it's a beautiful day again. The temperatures I'm getting used to a little bit more. As you can see, I've got a t-shirt on. I did wear a t-shirt later yesterday because it only I got up to maybe about 77, 78 degrees. I can do t-shirt weather now. It's kind of cold now. I'm going to put on my jacket because I'm going to be underneath the truck working. Now I've got to work with some other stuff underneath the hood to get this start to be buttoned back up. Now, a couple of things. I was having a problem with my fuel pressure issue, like I said, and I must have fixed it with that map sensor. But in the meantime, I have this adjustable regulator that was on the truck, and I took it off. Unfortunately, the gasket was destroyed, so I've got a stock regulator on there. I've got another gasket coming. Kind of looks like this. It's just neoprene material. So I ordered just some neoprene material, and I'm going to cut it out and fix it, put it together myself. Like I've said before on my other channel, but not so much here, whenever you're making any kind of modifications to your RV or your tow vehicle, like in this case, if you're making some pretty big major changes, it's probably best to do one at a time. So once I get this exhaust done, I'm going to start and run the vehicle with this configuration, knowing that the only thing that I really changed was the exhaust. That way, if there's a problem, I can focus on anything that's related to the exhaust. After I found that everything's running fine, everything's okay, hopefully, fingers crossed, then at that point I will install the fuel pressure regulator. Now once the fuel pressure regulator is installed, I'll start and run the vehicle and make sure everything's okay at that point. And again, if there's an issue, I know that I can look at the fuel pressure regulator, because that's the change that I made. Then once those two things are done, I have a set of fuel injectors that are 26 pound an hour, which is a step up from the stock 24 pound an hour. Plus they are also a Bosch style. They're a 4-hole design. They mist better, so they atomize better in the cylinder, causing a better burn. I'll install those. They're really easy on this truck compared to some of the other vehicles I've had in the past. And at that point, again, run the vehicle, make sure everything's okay. So that's what I've got to look forward to. I'm going to start working and get my EGR tube connected. That's going to be a handful for me, and it's underneath bending a lot of stuff, so let me get at it. Okay, top side's back together, new plugs, and everything is the way it should be. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a little noise. Just a little though. I don't normally do that kind of stuff. It used to be a time I would run up and down the street with full headers, wide open, didn't really care, but that's also when I lived out, way out in the country versus just kind of out in the country. So let's go ahead and start on this white pipe. All right, I'm tired, but it's done. It's all done. Listen how quiet it is. It's quieter than my stock one. You can see when I rev it up how it blows a hole on the ground. Yeah, it's very quiet. Here, I'll let you listen to it a little bit closer. And that was quieter than my old exhaust. And you can see what it looks like under here. I butchered this up because I wanted to utilize the pipe that I already had. So I just welded on some pieces, and anyways, it works and it's all sealed off. And you can see all this is done. And all that's done. Beautiful. All right, let's listen to this thing rev up a little bit.
What do you think about that? I think it'll sound nice. It's definitely quieter than the one that I had, and man, it's just awesome. I'm glad that this is done. So I'm going to drive this for a few days and shake out the bugs, and I got a few more things I got to do later, so we'll pick it up then. All right, so we're continuing, and we're into a new day with making improvements to our tow vehicle. And all these things are to help with power and fuel economy. And one of the things is fuel injectors. That's what I got today. What I did was got a set of injectors that are a better design than the factory ones. They have a 4-hole pattern in them. They have a better mist, a better spray. So I'm going to install those today, and hopefully that helps out with the fuel delivery, because these trucks run a little bit lean on their setup, especially when you're at full throttle. So this injector should help, along with my adjustable fuel pressure regulator, which I will reinstall once I get the gasket that I need to put it on there. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and stick these on there, and hopefully everything goes pretty smooth. All right, got all new injectors on there. Just purring away. This thing's coming right along. So a few days have passed and everything is pretty good with the truck. However, I got some more work that I need to do in the garage, and mainly it's probably going to be cleaning up the garage. But it is definitely a colder day. Today's high is 63, and right now with the wind it feels like 51. I think it's about 54 degrees, and it's like 10 a.m. Now the nice thing is the temperatures are going to make a switch here. Friday we're going to be back into the lower 70s, Saturday the upper 70s, and then we just blow off about 4 days of upper 80s. We might even touch 90. That'll be nice. That'll be the first time that we've really had a summer pattern here. So let's go out to the garage and see what's going to happen today. You kind of see the pattern as far as the weather goes. It looks like it's, oh, I don't know, like a storm's coming, and it's just cool. It's just a very cool day. This is like a early fall or late summer type day where you know the temperature's starting to change. All right, so it's cold. I don't really want to be outside, and this is a disaster from all the work that I've been doing. I mean, just look at it. Would you look at it? Just look at it. It's crazy. Now, if you guys know or don't know, I've been talking about the downsizing, and I'm moving from that giant toolbox into this toolbox. And what I've done is I've basically assembled all the tools that I think I need. Now, if I have to go to that toolbox for something, at that point I make a decision, is it going to stay with me or not? Things like this. This was a socket that was in that toolbox, but now it's coming with me because I needed it for a tap. There's also some other sockets in here that I didn't initially think that I needed to bring. However, I do now, and it's because I had to use them. And little things. I used the hole saw kit. I think I might bring the hole saw kit because I utilize that more than I realize. And working on an RV, for example, when I run the antenna wire through the RV wall, you know, this will allow me to drill right through the wall and not, you know, cause such a big giant hole. Now I do have some paddle bits, and this box here goes with us. I do have some what they call flat wood bits that would still get the job done, but I'd like to cut the aluminum with a hole saw. So there's things that I need. I mean, there's still stuff that I need, but I got a lot of work to do. I still got to install the heater core on the truck. I did do some work on the filter the other day. I still have to install this whenever the new gaskets come in. I have to install this backup camera that we've had for over 7 months now, and I haven't installed it. Now, I'll do a separate video on this one because I know, using this brand in the past on my old F-150, this is a very easy kit to install. The hardest part is just wiring it in. That's another day, that's another video. So a lot of stuff to do, so I'm gonna get at it.
Well, I made very little headway. I got a little bit cleaned up. I just threw those boxes back in the corner and started on this box here. I'll organize it later. I just want to make sure what I want to take fits. So those two totes are, one's kind of full, the other one's not really full. And then these here kind of fell over because I moved this stuff around. This tote's completely empty. It needs to go in there still. This tote is full. It needs to go in there. It's got specialty stuff that's been ready to go for a while, to tell you the truth. This tote here is an addition that I made, and basically I'm going to try to fit all my supplies in there, and I'll lose the supplies as I think I need. How it all started was my exhaust bolts, like one replacement header bolt and a couple of exhaust clamps that are 3-inch. They're kind of, you know, that's kind of big. Plus replacement donut gaskets for the headers. This little box here, I was thinking, well, I could throw that in there, and then I thought about all the other stuff that needs to go in there, like my nails and staples and rivets, and then of course all kinds of weird stuff that I've had there. And again, some of that stuff may go to the way. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I still need to put together a decent nuts and bolts assortment, which I have plenty of. There's so many, the screws, nuts, bolts, all this little bit here, but all these, there's some screws. These are all bolts. These are all bolts. These are all nuts. Washers of all kinds of sizes and shapes. And then more bolts. More bolts. Some carburetor return springs. More bolts. You can see I never ever have a problem with bolts. Here's all kinds of fittings for brake lines and copper tubing, natural gas, whatever. Of course, more fittings. Anything I want to do with fittings are there. Roll pins, I probably don't need that. Here's some small block Ford header bolts. I don't think that I need those. Those are kind of small. Hardware, odds and ends. Of course, this stuff's not going to go. I'll be getting rid of a lot of this stuff. All kinds of clasp and latches and hinges and clamps. Urethane bushings. I'll probably bring these with me because these are for the truck. We'll go ahead and put that in there. Materials again. Materials. Eye bolts, stuff like that. I mean, like I said, there's so much stuff in here. All these little tiny bolts and washers, and more big rubber bushings and stuff. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that I have in here and how long I've had it. And there's dividers, and then all these are all nuts and bolts on those baby food jars that used to hang back here. And then all these bolts, bolt assortments, and then all these fittings and compression fittings and pipe plugs, stuff like that. Then you have some screws in here. Then we have some deck screws. I'll probably bring that type of screw with me and that type of screw with me. I use those a lot. Some of this I won't. These are deck screws, concrete screws, obviously I wouldn't need. And as far as material wise, more screws, lots of screws. Of course, I'll bring these kind of screws. These are multi screws. Here's, you know, self tappers. But I've got chemicals. I got to find some sort of a compartment, some kind of a container system that holds these things, because like this dielectric grease has a couple of pinholes it likes to leak out. There's some silicone stuff, some PTFE sealant, anti-seize. I like to bring some of that stuff with me. Again, I know you guys are probably saying, oh, that's too much crap, you're never going to use it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but I'll throw it away if I don't. More silicone, and also I've got a couple of grease guns I got to find some sort of a container for. I'm just going to bring my needle grease gun with my replacement needles. This is great for bearings. If they have a seal on them, you just put this through the seal, you know, pull up the lip of the seal, go ahead and give it a couple little pumps with the thing, and it'll squirt grease. You can see right there, squirts grease right into the bearing directly. Or this is a normal type of grease gun. Of course, I'll bring both of those. yeah, lots of material stuff. And then I have all this will be left in a separate bag. This is all my power tools. I'll be getting rid of this power tool set. I've had this for a very long time, but here you can see I even got a new battery for it. That will go. I've been bringing that with us to camping to put up and down my jacks just because I'm lazy. I think other people do it too, so I don't feel so bad. But I have a few more things. I got to get some of these putty knives back there. And as far as the air tools, of course, they're going to stay with the air compressor, which I'll be selling all that. Along with all that, I forgot. I got my hammerhead nailer. It's a 12 volt. It's a 12 volt tool like these here, which I utilize those a lot. So much so I'm waiting for them to fail, and I'll have to buy new ones. Some other tools here. Anyways, here's the old exhaust off the truck. All I did was just knock all the rust off of it and hit it with some rust preventative paint to keep it from rusting anymore. It is pitted in some spots, but this is very solid. So I'll go ahead and sell these. Like I said, they're $380, I think, or something like that for this combination that you see hanging here. And I'll sell it, you know, really cheap. I'll, you know, probably half of that, and I'm sure somebody will want it. I've got somebody on YouTube on my other channel that watched my installation of the Banks headers, and he says, I'm kind of in your area, and if you're going to sell your headers, I'd like to buy them, and I'll worry about that whenever the time comes. But I have a lot of material stuff, so I figured that anything material wise, I'm going to try to get into here. You know, replacement nuts, bolts, those chemicals that I talked about, maybe some sprays. I'll get some lubricants in there. Maybe the lubricants will have to go in a separate container. And what I'm talking about is, you know, a can of carb cleaner, a can of silicone, some PB Blaster. I don't know about, I don't think that I need any tire sealant of any kind. This PB Blaster is a refill, so I've got this big container and this. I don't know if I'm going to carry all that along. Maybe some of this stuff I'll just have to see what, I mean, Lubriplate I'll probably bring with me. That stuff is really good. I just have to see. I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to bring quite yet. And again, I have 5 years to figure this out, but man, I'm wanting to make it happen faster, and I don't want all this to be one day me saying, forget it, I need to do something about it. What I don't want to happen is for me to get frustrated trying to get rid of everything and try to organize everything, and there, I had to pull your chin up. And at some point just saying, forget this, I'm done with this. I would rather, you know, forget it. I'm just getting rid of it. I'm throwing it all out. Now, don't get me wrong, that may be the best idea, but I would rather make sure that I come to that conclusion slowly and not under pressure, because then that's when you regret stuff. Whenever you make decisions under pressure that are rash, that's when you regret those decisions, because you didn't think it out. You didn't really put any thought into it and any planning into it. So I'd rather this be a slow process. And I know this is boring. I really do. But it's going to make it easier for me and the way that I want to get these things done. But we've got to get ready. We got to get this stuff together for a yard sale. But I think I'm done. I think I'm done working for the day. This is a few days of me dorking around out here on my truck and you know, in the garage. I know, again, that might be boring, but I want to keep you guys up to date on what's happening with the truck. Again, I will be doing a separate video on the backup camera installation for sure. That will be its own video. That way, if somebody wants to see how to install that backup camera, they can come to the channel and not hear me jabber on about what we're doing and, you know, our planning. And another video also will be the water pump installation inside the RV, and a new pressure switch being installed on it. Again, that will be a completely separate video all on its own for the same reason I just listed. The heater core, I'll tell you guys whenever I do that. Of course, my other channel will see a full installation of the heater core and how it's done. But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty much done for the day. I got to go in and
get some chicken wings out so whenever Heidi comes home, she can cook them, because she said she wanted chicken wings tonight. All right, guys, that is it for this video. And as always, I hope to see you out there. Bye.